all my analytics classes for all those nerds out there.
But Thomas Bryant's jockstrap, get him out of here!
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back! They snatched that chain, boy. Get back! What's all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back! We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1. Get back.
Let's go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Rob Watson, Project Pat, a.k.a.
Project
McGuire.
Pat.
Appreciate everybody tuning into the show today. We have a absolute ton to talk about. The Cleveland Browns fall to 1-4. They fall to the Minnesota Vikings overseas in London. Jose Ramirez.
Oh, no.
An interview resurfaces detailing frustrations with the Cleveland Guardians based upon the money, the discount he took, and what they failed to do with that discount. NHL tips off tonight. We just got news about 20 minutes ago, actually. Aviators. I said tips off. I feel like that made you mad. The puck drop.
Puck drops. Yeah, puck
Columbus.
Rob's got us, yeah. Known hockey guy, Rob Watson.
Columbus getting a UFL team.
Hell
the
yeah.
Aviators. The name is official. I saw on X about 20 minutes ago. But let's dive right into it, guys. 1-4, the Cleveland Browns. It feels like the season is already headed off the rails, and it is yet to be Halloween. Rob, didn't have the chance to talk to you yesterday. Dylan Gabriel made his NFL debut. Kevin Stefanski with some questionable clock management, some questionable use of his timeouts. Your overall thoughts on the Browns' performance Sunday?
Overall, I thought the team played well. That was much of my frustration with the game, was that it was a game where we all thought they had a chance to win. The team gave in a performance that you would think they would win in. The quarterback throws 2 touchdowns, no picks, equal to what the last guy did up to that point in 4 games. Quinshon Judkins gives you 100 on the ground. You force 2 fumbles. And you think they got to win that game, but honestly, they just played so conservative down the stretch. I think it was 4 drives in a row, 4 plays or less, leading up to before Minnesota scored that touchdown. You get the ball, and you run it the first 2 plays, and you're committing to taking all their timeouts, and then you decide to pass it on 3rd down, which shocked nobody, and Minnesota saves a timeout. Didn't end up mattering too much because you were calling timeouts for them. The timeout thing, whatever, I don't think it would have saved much. I think the only thing is the opportunity to save 20 seconds when they didn't call the timeout after the Jefferson catch. They wasted time. That was the worst part right there. They should have called it right away after. I don't know if they thought there was going to be a review or something, but
That was so strange.
overall, Kevin got to coach better. Offense has to be better, but that starts with the O-line and his play calling. I don't know why all quarterbacks are scared to throw the ball more than 10, really 15 yards. They did nothing, all checkdowns, everything. It's just handcuff high school offense.
And it's even with like what Quinshon Judkins has done the last couple of weeks, which has been so impressive. Like, I still just can't think about how much better these, like, the yards per carry would look and stuff like that. Like, not that you need the stats to be a good player, obviously, but like when everyone's creeping in, the box is filled, like every single play, like that's what happens at the end of the game when you get 4 possessions in the 4th quarter and you only get 1 first down, 28 total yards of offense over those 4 possessions. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, there's nothing Juddy can do about that when they got 8 guys, it seems like, every single play right in front of them.
That's the most frustrating part is the Browns did everything that they needed to do to win this game, and you still managed to lose. Your rookie quarterback didn't turn the ball over. You won the turnover battle. You forced 2 fumbles. Quinshon Judkins, 100 yards on the ground. You won the rushing battle, and you still find a way to lose this game. Like,
No
Carson
turnovers.
Wentz, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's exactly what the game plan was. We were talking about if the Browns win the rushing battle, but at the end of the day, you fail to score 20 points, and you're not going to win many games failing to score 20 points in the NFL. And at some point, it has to fall back on Kevin Stefanski. I'm hesitant to call it a talent issue. I think the Browns have plenty of talent. This isn't the same as the days of the 1-31 with Hugh Jackson. It's probably a combination of Kevin Stefanski not being able to command an offense and the fact that it's a bunch of rookies in key spots. Like, there was the one play that went viral of Dylan Gabriel missing David Njoku wide open over the middle.
Tough.
Right up the seam. They're playing a 1 high safety. In that play, you had a left tackle that has no business being on the field.
Turnstile.
You have a rookie wide receiver stopping his route after contact.
To block.
And you have a rookie quarterback in Dylan Gabriel who failed to look over in the middle of the field and find a wide open tight end.
My only thing there, to Dylan's defense, because the play, obviously Bond was the first read, so I don't know why he gave up on his route that soon. Dylan would have had to work his way back over to Njoku. He would have been broken in half because Levinston got walked by. Now, should he have been able to diagnose something that might have been able to happen there regardless? But if David wasn't the first read, there was no chance he was going to get the throw off. He would have died.
That's very true.
Second, the excuse that this team is bad and that we don't have the talent to win, I can no longer buy anymore.
Yeah, I can't listen to
there's competent players on the football field. Dylan Gabriel showed that he's good enough. He didn't cost you the game more than we've been getting. You now have net neutral play from the quarterback. Your running back is a positive. He's making a terrible O-line look decent. The receivers, you get drops from Jerry Jeudy that's scheduled, but working around enough, they could do enough. They're kind of there enough for the simple plays. You can move it a little bit. The defense is stellar. It's not an excuse of talent. There's enough out there. The only thing is the O-line, but that's on you guys to get people out there. Cam Robinson wasn't ready to play. He had like 18 offsides penalties. KT Levinston, 48 offside penalties, some holding. Who was it? Was Conklin got back out there at right tackle? I don't know what he did. I watched Wyatt Teller on the one play where everyone's down blocking to the left. He's the only guy stepping to the right. There's a play where KT Levinston, as David Njoku, who he's blocking, points to the guy right in front of him before the snap, and then still steps to the side and lets the people in. I don't know. Sir. Don't know how people don't know what we're doing out there. I'm assuming there's got to be some coaching. I don't get it. Partial, some bad play. But at some point, it could be good coaching. I watched the 49ers with Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne going crazy. Crazy. The Vikings were missing 3 linemen. Like, it's the same. Like, everyone else is dealing with the same stuff. We're not the only team in the NFL that has injuries and some backups in. It's not like, you know what I mean?
We knew going into this season it was probably going to be a frustrating season. We knew the losses were going to pile up probably pretty quickly when we looked at how difficult the schedule was. But I'm trying to think of the best word to use. Annoying, honestly, is a word that I would use. The fact that at this point you're 1-4, but you should have won the Cincinnati game.
Yep.
Your defense saved you to get you a win against a Super Bowl contender in Green Bay, and that managed to be your only win. You should have won the Minnesota game. The penalties are a problem. That's not a talent issue. That's a coaching issue. It is a discipline issue. And you're seeing rookies step up in huge ways, and that's not translating to wins. Now, I understand it. Like, next year could be a total reset, possibly. You'd like to build on this building block of this rookie class. The season kind of going as we expected, but there's just been so many missed opportunities. At some point, you got to look at Kevin Stefanski and say that's unacceptable. You can't straight up. You can't be 1-4, possibly another 3-win season with what is one of the best, if not the best, defenses in the NFL. That is just inexcusable.
And I can't stress it enough, dude. But if you're Kevin Stefanski and you're this offensive genius, and I understand he's got the 2 coaches of the year, right? But like,
you got to stop.
You have to find a way to get more than one first down in the fourth quarter and put a game away. Like, we talk about these games ad nauseum every single week, right? And before this Minnesota game, Ryan, I put out a clip out of you where you're saying, okay, if you get to 20 points, you're going to win this game. Rob, you said, all right, 17 points and no turnovers, we're probably going to win this game. Like, you're doing the little things right. Like, you don't have that. Like, you're winning the turnover battle. And it's not even like they're interceptions. Like, Isaiah McGuire, like, you're getting guys who you aren't expecting to have crazy seasons coming out and forcing turnovers. Malik Collins, who you signed and has been huge so far, has 2 sacks. Like, so many little things are actually turning right. Like, how can you not find a way to push across for the final results? Like, it's infuriating.
If I hear someone say Coach of the Year again, you have to. The only way you win that award is if you are bad. Andy Reid hasn't won a Coach of the Year since 2002. You know why? Because he's a good coach.
Mike Tomlin's never won a coach.
Actually, a good coach. They only give that award away to big jumps. That means you had to be awful and then improve. It's insane. And if I tell you, when we all sat down and we predicted we were picking 4 or 5 wins, whatever. That was without assuming everything that is actually broke right for the team. Yeah. We thought we were going to see Judkins we thought he might not play the whole year.
Yeah.
We didn't know. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know that Harold Fannin was going to be decent. We didn't know that Carson Schlesinger was going to be a possible all-pro. We didn't know that D-line was going to be one of the best in the league and the defense was going to be a top 5 in the league. Without assuming all that, we thought the team was awful. That probably would have bought him 2 to 3 more wins in some predictions. When we didn't know Joe Flacco was going to be awful, but the rookie's okay. With the run game and the defense, though, we would have expected so much more, and now we get it, but we want to keep the same expectations. Right. But expectations change based on what you see. You have a top, I don't know, but he's the best rookie running back in the class. The run game, he's doing great things, and the defense is one of the top ones in the league. And you just had a quarterback that proved he could game manage a game and not turn the ball over. With that, you should be able to win games in the NFL, and Sunday was one of them. but the Browns always find a way to lose, and that's the culture that Kevin Stefanski has built here.
The crazy part, too, is Judkins, he had 117 yards on Sunday, and that was without a whole bunch of yards being called back, too. He had that one breakaway down the far sideline.
Oh, the phantom penalty?
Yeah, the phantom penalty. There was a couple more holdings where he had, like, I think 12-yard gains and things like that. So he would have been closer to 200 yards like Rico Dowdle, but that was the first 100-yard game since 2023 of Jerome Ford. But, guys, the thing, too, is, like, the Browns in their last 5 games where the defense forces 2 turnovers. Now, I'm not necessarily including that Packers game because a blocked field goal doesn't technically count as a turnover, which it sort of is, but they're 0-5 in their last 5 games where you have 2 turnovers. Now, that doesn't count the turnover margin, but when the defense forces 2 turnovers, they're 0-5 in their last games. That is unacceptable, and it's all in the coaching, too, because, like, you get this unimaginative offense, and we'll get back into that 3rd and long towards the end of the game, but you should not be throwing there. If you are throwing, it should be a short throw to make them use the timeouts, anything like that. But the coaching has just been so brutal.
I wanted to ask you guys a question, too. And I never played high-level football, believe it or not, looking at me, if you can't tell at home. But some of you guys played football. And just in general, how do they – and I understand there's new linemen this week, too. But, like, false starts are just the most, like, I think just, like, discipline-oriented, easy-to-figure-out thing, I would assume. Again, I never played a very high level of football, so I can't sit here and say that as a fact. But how do you not have that cranked out by Sunday?
So,
right?
New quarterback, but all the quarterbacks are supposed to copy the cadence of the starter so that it'll stay the same. Now, you can't do it exactly. You're supposed to keep it as close as possible. I would have excused it 1, maybe 2 times, but obviously happened more.
The disappointing thing, too, was all those illegal formations. Like, the false starts, I actually don't mind that much because they're trying to, Myles Garrett's going to get his offsides every week, which really is frustrating. But the thing about it is you don't have Joe Flacco to be like, get on the line of scrimmage. You know, when it was that 2 weeks ago where he's like, Isaiah, on the line of scrimmage. Dylan's not seeing these things, and then you've got uncovered receivers. You're just giving away 5 yards. That's where it's frustrating to me.
I think I didn't get up on him enough specifically about that last drive.
Brutal.
He can't, like, this 1 foot in, 1 foot out is something like, I feel like he's a fence rider. That's something I'm starting to notice. Like, be aggressive or be conservative. Don't try to be both. Like,
I said that.
If you're going to try to get the first down, pass all 3 downs because they're going to play the run. They got 20 people in the box. And you're going to the same formation where you're not blocking the guy off the end. And we haven't made the adjustment. So that cost us on 1 3rd and 1 2, where they would go to the same play where they would put Huntington and Fannin as like off backs and Judkins' hands in the dirt. And they read it and they make a play on it later.
Because it's the identical look.
It's
That's what Jake Burns was saying.
If you're going to go for that first, throw the ball. Don't wait till 3rd and 14, 15 to pass and then save them that timeout. Then at that point, just run it again and punt the ball. If you're going to be like, that's the stuff that I don't get where he's not making complete sense. I need consistency more than anything on something like that.
Like when I look at the Cleveland Browns, I want to be able to identify what exactly is wrong with them, but I think it's a combination of things. It's the fact of, and this will kind of aid a Kevin Stefanski pro argument, which I'm not totally doing, but I'm looking at everything in a whole, is your offensive line is old. It's brittle, and you have backups playing. You have guys that have no business playing, like your KT Levistons, and et cetera. You have a quarterback that probably isn't talented enough to elevate deficiencies in a roster. Like, as good as Andy Reid, the coaches are, you still need a competent quarterback like John Harbaugh with Cooper Rush. That was an absolute disaster. Like, you need those pieces. They correlate together to make a fantastic product. But then again, it's the same things. It's you have touchdowns getting called back for penalties. You have 100 yards lost in penalties. These are old Cleveland Browns things that are unacceptable. You have guys running wrong routes still. You have
it's like the Freddie Kitchen
It's a combination of things, and it's just putting together an awful product, and on top of it, you're wasting this defense, which is the worst part about it, and you're losing games that you should win. This isn't
a theme in Cleveland lately.
This isn't you're less talented. 99 out of 100 times you're going to go play this team on a Sunday. You're going to lose. Exactly.
Oh yeah.
And then it's the National Football League. There's no excuses. The Vikings, they're their backup quarterback. They're down 3 offensive starters on the line. Like, good coaches find a way to win, and it's a culture.
Everything you just said lends to what I think that last drive was for the Vikings as a whole. When the defense knows they're not going to get 20 points, at some point they're either A, going to get tired, or B, they're going to try to do too much. And that's what I thought Denzel Ward eventually led up to on the last play. He's thinking,
that was crazy.
I got to bait Wentz
he tried to bait
to get an interception.
He did a man lurk at 2 a.m.
So win the game, and he gives up the whole a beautiful pass.
Yeah.
But, like, if he's playing normal to where it's like, Granted, Denzel too aggressive. He said it was on him, but you got people that think to do that, and that's
Didn't even jump, though.
the situation you get into at the end of the game, man.
That was a hell of a throw.
All right, we got to take a
triangle
break.
combo.
When we get back, we're flipping over to our Cleveland Guardians. An interview resurfaced from, I believe, March, where Jose Ramirez had a little discussion about his contract with the Cleveland Guardians, what the Cleveland Guardians
bueno.
failed to do with the discount that he gave them. We'll talk about that when we get back right here on the Big
bro.
Factor. Hey, everybody, welcome back into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan, Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Pat McGuire, Rob
grande.
Watson. Before we dive into the Cleveland Guardians, I got to tell you about our friends at Fairway Ford. Fairway Ford, Ohio is the biggest Ford truck dealership in the entire state. They have the largest selection of Ford F-150s and Super Duty trucks, and they won't be beat on price by any other Ford dealer. Don't let a short drive to Canfield prevent you from saving thousands of dollars on your new dream vehicle. Over 500 vehicles in stock on their lot. There's never been a better time to buy. Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks, lowest pricing, and same hometown level service. Scan the QR code now or go give their website a visit, fairwayfordohio.com. That is fairwayfordohio.com. Well, guys, the Cleveland Guardians and Jose Ramirez. There's always been like I'm trying to find the right word to use. I don't want to use like a headbutt, but there's at least it's more
been
towards
attention.
the fans. There's certainly been attention. We all know about the discount Jose Ramirez took to stay in Cleveland, to potentially use that money to build around him to bring a championship team to the Cleveland Diamond. An interview resurfaced from March of this year where basically they were asking Jose about his contract, about the money that he saved the Cleveland Guardians, and how basically they failed to use that in a proper way to support him with talent. He was asked the question, I'll quote this, "You're not paid what you're worth, will that change?" Jose Ramirez said, quote, "It will change, that's going to change, everything will change." That sounds like something out of a movie, Jack. Another question, you gave Cleveland a discount to bring in more players and help the team, but I saw they traded Jimenez and Naylor. Jimenez, they brought in Santana at least. He responds with, "In truth, they have not really handled it as they spoke to me. The GM has not handled it as he called me. I'm going to take a discount for this very reason, roster construction. I told him money doesn't matter to me. I will keep earning money because I'm a good player, but I want to win. I want you to help me win."
Real quick, doesn't this feel like the Myles Garrett, like, yeah, I have a plan. I know what they're going to do.
Keep that quote rolling. It ain't done
keep
yet.
it rolling.
There's more
But
rolling than that
Doesn't
quote.
that feel like the
He
Myles
says-
Garrett where, like,
"I'm waiting for them to invest more money in more players. In truth, we do a great job developing young players, but if you want to beat the Dodgers, you have to spend money like them."
I didn't know
that's
that clip
Jack
got that
O'Rourke
deep.
special.
Let's hear something, Mr. O'Rourke. Speak to me. Let's hear real rap.
Yeah. He's not wrong at all, right? I mean, if we're being honest, when he took that $100 million pay cut to stay in Cleveland right before the 2022 season, the Toronto Blue Jays were banging on the door for him for a couple of big prospects who didn't end up panning out, but there was a deal in place, and Jose said, "No, I want to be here, and I want you guys to put a team around me to win." You know, Jose was awesome in 2017 and 2018 when he was like truly protected by Frankie and a younger Carlos Santana. Like, people forget how good Carlos Santana was in 2017. Like, especially during that win streak of 22 games, all three of them hit over 350. Like, Rob, we talked about it pre-show today. Whenever Jose Ramirez is truly protected in the lineup, he is a different animal. Like, he is a different human being than anything we've seen in Cleveland in the last 5 or so years. And yeah, Jose is right to think that he's going to make money when his contract is up in 2028, but Jose is going to be 35 years old, and 35-year-olds, no matter how good they are, no matter how many 30-30 seasons they put up after 30 years old, don't tend to command a ton of money on the open market. So Jose missed his payday. His payday was in 2022 or whenever that came, if he would have gotten a massive extension from the Blue Jays, who were always looking for a superstar to complement Vladdy Guerrero. you got to do something, and you have to do it now. I mean, I know this came out before the season. We should preface that as well. This interview happened in March. It just kind of resurfaced a couple of days ago, but you got to do it this offseason. You have 2 more years of him between at age 33 pretty much and 34 where you have that prime left. We'll talk about some ideas that we have here on The Factor later in the show, guys, but you have to go put something around Jose Ramirez, and you have to do it right now.
The thing about it, too, is like...
Who's going to tell him?
Yeah, who's going to tell him, brother? But the thing about it is you could see kind of during the season, and especially in that 3-game wildcard series, the amount of pressure that Jose was putting on himself to carry this team because he knew that he wasn't really going to get that next payday, and he wanted to put more pressure on the front office to at least buy at the deadline to a certain extent. You could really see it for 162 plus that 3-game series. The frustrating part is I would love to know what he was thinking when we traded Shane Bieber, because I'm not saying he changes that series necessarily, but to trade him away after he makes his rehab appearance in our minor league system and he's one start in the minors, like to go back to the major leagues, so frustrating to trade him away after you pay like $10.5 million, because that's what makes it look so much worse. I know we'll get it back into it, Jack, but you paid $4.5 million for Jacob Junis, you paid $4 million for Austin Hedges, you traded for Matt Festa, all these dudes. You had one guy, a 2020 Cy Young Award winner. He's coming back to your major league roster and you want to dump him. It doesn't make any sense to me. And it doesn't make any sense to those guys in the locker room. I can guarantee you that,
So
let alone
why
Jose
do you
Ramirez.
give the Blue Jays like all our best players?
So
Exactly.
here's
Mark
my
Shapiro,
question.
former
I don't care.
Cleveland GM.
I really don't. Yeah, it is Shapiro. I really don't care if you are like 0-94 at the deadline. We'll call it. Like if you literally have not won a baseball game yet this season, if you sign back your former Cy Young Award winner and leader of your pitching staff,
Who took a discount too,
who
by
took
the way.
a discount as well, you cannot trade him for a prospect at the deadline. Like you simply can't do that. Like Cal Steven had one good year in the minors until he got hurt this year. Nothing against what he did before that, but like you basically just paid $12 million for Cal Steven, who is not a top 100 prospect in the sport. Like, what message are you sending to Jose?
Doesn't make any sense.
2028 seems a long time away, but is it?
No, it's
really,
not.
no.
Like, here's the thing, and I hate to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy right now. If you come out and you're 40-something and 40-something at the deadline next year,
Yeah.
you got to start asking serious questions. You really do. Not because he's not a great baseball player, but because look at like the youth movement of this team. Like as it seems more and more like Steven Kwan's going to be out the door in the next 2 or 3 years, you're starting to look at like DeLauder as the core, Bazana when he gets up here. Like when you're starting to see your timeline be a bunch of 24-year-olds and he's 34 and due to make $25 million in 2028, and I think it's like 21 and a half in 2027. I don't want to do it, but can we be honest? You kind of have to look at it, right?
All right, I'm going to start a little fire. I'm going to start a little fire in the room.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at
I'm
all.
going to get yelled at for even proposing this
Here we
question.
go.
But is there in any type of way that you can look at it as the Cleveland Guardians, and keep this in mind, they're not going to spend money. It's just not what they do. So
It's a terrible free agent class also.
yeah, that Jose Ramirez is kind of the perfect guy for Cleveland in the sense of Cleveland's doing him a favor. The fact that no matter what happens, he will always be able to walk on water in Cleveland. The postseason expectations aren't necessarily the same because of the money. You see athletes all the time. Juan Soto go to the Yankees. He hates the Yankees.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're a rabid fan base and they don't succeed
Hates
in the
the Mets, too.
postseason. You become a villain. That'll never happen for a guy like Jose Ramirez in Cleveland.
I think Frankie Lindor would tell you a pretty similar story, especially after missing the playoffs this year. I think they're very similar if you look at their career trajectories, where they were at. And they
Like, is it
still
almost
obviously-
worth that discount?
I mean, they're both going to
that's kind
Cooperstown,
of
but
that's
for a
the
guy like him,
that's
yeah.
the reward for the
that's the
discount.
thing is like if you're Jose, and again, Jose made a couple of base running blunders in the playoffs, right? And I think that's very excusable because of his aggressive play style and the fact that he has to get it done if anyone's gonna on this team. If Jose is a New York Yankee and he makes those 3 mistakes in the postseason,
Dead.
he's on the front page of the New York Times, Sporting, like whatever, all those newspapers in New York. He's on the front page every single day. He's getting asked questions by the media in English and Spanish.
Yeah.
There's no way Jose article, like headlines in the papers. That'll never happen in Cleveland. Jose didn't speak to the media after game 1 when he made that mistake because he doesn't have to. Like there are definitely trade-offs to remaining in Cleveland, I think, for him.
And that's where you see all the pressure too on him. Like he's the one who has to bring the intensity to that Cleveland, locker room where the front office is not going to do it. I mean, Stephen Vogt, I'm sure he's trying to play that dance of like where you want to be intense, and you could see during the year where the bench coach, I forget exactly his name, but he's throwing the sunflower seeds at him to try to get him to lighten up a little bit. You can feel the tension because you know that you don't want another enjoy him. You remember the Antonetti when
About
he said
Lindor?
Yeah, about Lindor, because that's kind of like what the Reds owner said to them when they said, where are they going to go? Where are the fans going to go? They can't just leave. They're going to be Reds fans the rest of their life. Well, you know what? If Jose Ramirez gets traded, there will be a mutiny here. So he understands where he's at in the city of Cleveland. But Frankie Lindor would be telling a different story. That's the crazy part about this baseball team in this town. It doesn't make any sense.
We got to take a break. When we get back, Cleveland Guardians got a lot of things they got to fix, especially on the offensive side. Jack, you got a name that you're looking out this offseason for potentially a trade to happen to bring some pop here in Cleveland's lineup. We'll talk about that when we get back
No chance.
here in the Big Factor.
El Grande. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Big Factor on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Pat McGuire, and Rob Watson. Jack, the Cleveland Guardians made it to the postseason this year, despite having the worst batting average the team's ever had to go to the postseason. History.
Not sure that you can count on that to happen 2 years in a row. Jack, there's a name that you're watching this offseason, a potential trade candidate for our Cleveland Guardians to add some pop to this offense.
Yeah, and people are going to laugh at me at first because of the position he plays, but I would love to see Adley Rutschman in a Cleveland Guardians uniform at the start of next season. I think there's a lot of openings for it, too. You look at the surface, Adley had a terrible year last year. Hit 220, 9 home runs, only played 90 games, had a lot of injuries. Kind of had a down 2024 as well. By down 2024, he still came away with an above 700 OPS and I think 20 home runs. So a down year for him is pretty good compared to a lot of guys on our roster and the potential. The Orioles' best prospect is Samuel Basallo, who made it up to the major leagues last year. They gave him an 8-year, $63 million contract extension before he even played a game. So the Orioles have been very adamant in the offseason that they're not going to move on from Adley. Like, we're not totally sold on that yet or anything. But they made their decision when they signed Samuel Basallo to an 8-year contract extension. Like, that's a massive move, especially at catcher. So that kid is going to play. And I think there's a way it can work out with Bo Naylor in Cleveland as well. If you look at the biggest thing this team needs in the offseason, it's someone that can hit left-handed pitching. Adley's a career 280 hitter against left-handed pitching. Came out, I think he had above 300 in 2023, the best year of his career, had an above 900 OPS against left-handed pitching. So when the guy's at his best, he mashes left-handed pitching. And he's very solid against righties as well, more than playable on a day-to-day basis. I think you can even keep Bo Naylor, put Bo Naylor at catcher, DH Adley, and even consider moving Kafis or Valera as one of the prospects in the deal for Adley, and then you catch Adley against left-handed pitching. This would also allow you to get rid of Austin Hedges and get rid of David Fry. So I really think that adding a switch hitting bat would be huge for this lineup, because also, like, look at how good or excited we are for the right-handed pitching lineup this year, right, Pat? Yeah. There's still 7 left-handed hitters in it. You can't do that. That's not going to be sustainable. You got to have a righty or someone else in there who can switch hit to break it up somewhere. So I think Adley makes a ton of sense. He's not that expensive.
An NBA or NFL player comp for this guy?
Oh man,
oh,
that's a tough one.
So I'll tell you his career. So he's only played 4 years, so this won't take long. Rookie year as a catcher, hits awesome, comes second in Rookie of the Year voting, right? Finishes like 15th in the MVP voting. Second year is the best year of his career by far to this point. Finishes top 10 in MVP voting, wins an All-Star game, hits 20 home runs. Third year has injuries, still makes an All-Star team, still hits 20 home runs. Last year had a total down year, and they have a guy who plays his position who just got a big extension.
Okay.
So is there a comp? I don't even know who that would be in the NBA, but
was waiting for a comp.
Well, I was trying to give it to you, so you think, that guy.
Teed it up around there, I guess.
But
yeah, that's kind
I can't even.
My fault.
Yeah, so like about 5 years into his career, has played at an MVP level multiple times, had a total down year last year. Trade value is lower than ever. Like, I would think it would take probably either Ralphie Velasquez or Angel Henao as the prospects, like as the heavy hitter piece to it.
Don't know who these.
You're probably going with a Kafis or a Valera. Logan Allen because he'll be the guy who misses out of the rotation, and then I would throw in Gabriel Arias.
This sounds like, to me, in my NBA comp, I remember when Victor Oladipo all of a sudden was like really good on the Pacers, and then the next year he got hurt. Then the next year he was, I forgot where he went, but he was mid. So it
with
sounds
Thunder,
like
maybe.
we're now gambling on the next year.
No,
of
it's a
that
gamble
kind
with
of
Adley, but
okay,
what I'm saying is Jose Ramirez is 33 years old.
No, I
There is
feel you,
no
I feel you.
talent through free agent or trade that we could realistically actually bring in that is cheaper than Adley. Like, Adley Rutschman is an elite baseball player when he's at his best. Like, that's the thing about him. If you have to try and add something, he's the closest thing I could think to adding that won't break the bank because he's in arbitration still for 2 years. Yeah. I think it's a total, like, go for broke move. Yeah, it's a go for broke
sure.
move.
This is
But
like when
I'm
they-
comfortable with that. As
Or
my go
like
for
when the
broke.
Cavs got IT kind of thing.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but he doesn't have
But
like,
without trading Kyrie Irving for him. Obviously.
Yeah, but also like Adley's great. So if Adley adds nothing offensively, he's a great catcher.
Yeah.
And he has a great eye at the plate. He's gonna, if the wheels totally fall off, he's still gonna have like a 700 OPS probably. Like you're at worst getting a top 10 catcher in the sport.
Yeah, because the
At
thing too
worst.
about it is like defensively, Adley is really he's easily top 10 of the catchers. Yeah, so when you add him to, you look at the framing ability. Bo Naylor has been awful in terms of framing for Naylor, but that's something that they would believe in the Guardians organization too, because Adley calls a really good game. He handles a pitching staff really well. So putting those two together would be a really interesting. It'd be a really interesting pairing too, because like
could help though too.
It could help because Austin Hedges would be out the door. David Fry, he can't throw, so he's not going to be like at DH. You could put Adley in DH over David Fry, and David Fry is still in arbitration. I don't think they bring him back, but I love that though. The only difficult thing is like they're so stuck in their ways with putting Bo Naylor back there, even though he's got really terrible pass ball numbers, really terrible framing rate. He's thrown out runners at a really good rate this year, but that's not, that's not repeatable very easily.
You cannot sit here and tell me that a team that gave Austin Hedges 300 at-bats this year could not find a spot for Adley Rutschman to play.
I certainly could.
Bo didn't start against left-handed pitching.
Logic doesn't matter in this
Are
instance.
we allowed to like get more than one player in the offseason?
No, absolutely. You are going to get Lane Thomas brought back.
Yep.
You're going to get
Didn't
another
have Adley
like
Rutschman money.
Nolan-esque reclamation project, and then
Bro thought he had Adley Rutschman
You might get a
money.
you might get a bullpen arm.
Wait till that gusto comes through.
Yeah. Wait till. Hey,
so
by
that's
the way,
great.
that GoFundMe I made for Pete Alonso
Hey.
is still out there.
Has it
We are
doubled
only
yet?
$199 million.
What are you? at?
995. We're a lot away, but hey,
How
you
much
can help.
have you raised?
What?
How much have you raised?
$5 of
Wait,
the $2
so
million.
all that talk about the
And that was
dude
your
from-
$5,
from
correct?
No, it
like-
wasn't actually. I did not donate $5.
I heard
to
a
it.
couple of trade targets. Like I remember the dude from Boston. He kind of
Duran
had
Duran.
had a moment to end the year that was bad. We're not allowed to go after more than one guy. We can't make two moves. Try
no.
to improve,
Unless
like
it's in the bullpen.
actually improve the lineup,
Yeah,
change some
that's-
stuff
that's
up.
not gonna happen.
My fault. Okay, my bad.
Adley Rutschman to the Cleveland Guardians. You heard it.
Make
here
it happen.
first. Hey, well,
Check out that
speaking
article on
of-
Guardians on SI too.
Yeah, check
Check out that article.
Speaking of Isaiah Thomas, speaking of Victor Oladipo, speaking of Lou Dort,
Hey.
Cavaliers play basketball tonight, guys. Preseason starts tonight before they begin their campaign. The quest to get back to the Eastern Conference Finals and hopefully the NBA Finals basically starts tonight against the Chicago Bulls. We'll talk about that, what we expect for our Cavaliers team this season, and a lot more when we get back right here on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to The Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Project Pat McGuire, and Rob Watson. Guys, before we dive into our Cavaliers as preseason basketball tips off tonight, It's October. You know what that means. Halloween right around the corner. I have the absolute pleasure to tell everybody about Bloodview Haunted House. Ready to get into the Halloween spirit? Grab your friends and head to Bloodview Haunted House in Broadview Heights. It's not just a haunted house. It's an interactive experience where the nightmares come to life, and the best part, every ticket helps support local charities. Open weekends through Halloween, Friday and Saturday nights till midnight, and Sundays till 10. So if you're looking for big scares and a good cause, Bloodview is the place to go. Get all the details at bloodview.org. We're going to be there, and when I say we, the Big Factor crew, 4 of us, I believe, and Nick Pannone, we're going to be at the Bloodview Haunted House this Thursday, October, the 9th. We're going to be there. I'm looking forward to it. It's a lot of fun. That Thursday, they are actually open until, I believe, 10 o'clock, that is. Because a lot of people out of school, I guess, got a little Friday off, an extra weekend for fall break. So if you're looking for a good scare, Bloodview Haunted House is the place to go. All right, guys. Cleveland Cavaliers.
On the way out there?
Ooh, PSL's on the way out there.
I don't know what that is.
Pumpkin spice latte.
Pumpkin spice latte.
Okay. Cleveland Cavaliers play basketball tonight. Preseason tips off tonight. The Cleveland Cavaliers versus Chicago Bulls. It is finally here after a disappointing end to last season to the Indiana Pacers. We get Cleveland Cavaliers basketball again.
Man.
The news, we got Lonzo Ball. Talked a little bit about it. We obviously acquired him when we traded as a core to the Bulls. He says back-to-backs are, quote, off the table to start the year. He expects to be capped around 20 minutes per game. But the starters are going to be playing tonight against the Chicago Bulls, but don't expect a lot of minutes for the starters. Rob, basketball's back.
God, the Cavs lose tonight. The season, the season's not over, guys. Preseason's whatever. This team, though, I'm so ready to talk about them throughout the year, even though the regular season does not matter whatsoever. Great idea not to play Lonzo Ball in back-to-backs. He has someone else's literal knee in his knee, but he's a great basketball player. This is the deepest Cavs roster I've seen since the 2016 type era where we were bringing Shumpert and the guy Channing Frye and Richard Jefferson and the guys off the bench. This is the deepest, the best bench I've seen. I love what they're doing. We're going to have to work. I think Darius Garland is going to really come back a lot sooner than people think. I think he's not going to miss that many games. He might be back, they're saying, within the first 10-ish of the season. So that would be huge for him to get going and get into rhythm. But Evan Mobley, I think, taking another huge step this year. I think you should be ready to start seeing him work his way into those MVP talks for real. Donovan Mitchell is just going to keep being great. And this team is going to be good in the regular season, but I think the additions and the actual lineup depth we have to be able to substitute and not play the same exact lineup for 40 minutes a game in the postseason is going to be the reason that we could actually take a step forward and get to a conference finals or NBA finals this year.
Rob, I wanted to ask you, so I'm pretty excited about Jalen Tyson this year.
Yes, sir.
That's the guy I want to watch a lot in the preseason. I want to see how much that dev got upgraded in the offseason. What are you expecting out of him in the preseason?
Jalen Tyson.
Because he'll get bigger minutes still.
Gonna be huge, especially right off the bat with Strus injured and DeAndre Hunter likely starting. Jalen Tyson I see as being the go-to scorer off the bench because Lonzo Ball, not really a big driver anymore, really kind of just like a 3-and-D-ish taller point guard that could guard the ball handler, but he's going to mainly spot up and shoot. Maybe a couple passes off a pick and roll. But then who else you have off that? I think Merrill's going to be starting for the time DG's out. So really it's just Jalen Tyson, and then you got Craig Porter Jr. off the bench if they want to play two guards. Jalen Tyson's the only real scorer. You got Nance and Wade with him too. He's going to live up to that I can do it all build where when he was in the G League, he was averaging 19, 4, and 4. In Summer League, he was putting up near triple doubles. He's going to get the opportunity to hoop, and they're just going to put the ball in his hands and see what he could do. But they're going to need him early to be big off the
especially
bench.
on those back-to-backs, too.
Yeah.
Do you think Tyrese Proctor, the draft pick, that's the next guy you got to go to. So Ty Jerome, he's left in free agency.
Did you see him dicing in the preseason?
I did not see that, but he's a bucket getter. But do you think somebody like Tyrese Proctor can fill that role? I mean, you don't necessarily want him taking 14 shots a game or whatever Ty Jerome was taking, but where do you think the Cavs go from there with Ty Jerome?
It's up to whoever's playing the best.
Yeah.
If Jalen Tyson isn't getting it done, they're going to try somebody else. They're going to see. So, and like you said, Lonzo's not playing back-to-back, so you're going to have games where you're going to need that extra guard. Proctor will get his opportunities there. Craig Porter's going to have. Craig Porter is a great player, in my opinion. If he gets it and he shows that he could be consistent and keep the turnovers down, he's also could be a microwave off the bench. I mean, the kid is.
I was surprised we didn't see him in the playoffs.
He's an electric basketball player. Me and Jack, I was calling for minutes because Ty Jerome got benched. So I was saying we need the defense.
That was brutal.
And he's someone who's going to pick up full. Craig Porter Jr. also has the opportunity to step up. It's gonna be the time we actually get to see these draft picks kind of play and see what they have this year, because it's going to be a lot of experimenting, especially with the guards off the bench.
And you're a big guy too, Rob. So I want to ask you about a couple of big guys we brought in this offseason. Who do you think will do more for us this year, Larry Nance Jr. or Thomas Bryant?
Wow. It has to be Larry.
I'm going Larry Nance because he's a more versatile defender. He's switchable, and he's
Friend of the
also they both could provide floor spacing, and they both do different things than what Jared Allen and Evan Mobley do to a degree. But Larry Nance, just a great player. Always going to get a boost when you're playing for like the hometown team and you're back where you're from. So I'm expecting him to do great things. He's going to get to shoot more because that's what Kenny demands and like works with for his players. And he's been someone who shot a great percentage, but he just hasn't really had the opportunity. I think he's going to be encouraged more and allowed to do that more. So I think you're going to see a good season out of him. But the physicality that Thomas Bryant brings is something I don't think any of them really have, and that's going to be huge. And that he's also someone who could knock down a corner three.
Right.
So these options and that actual depth, like, you could sub Evan Mobley and Jared Allen off the court, and it's not the end of the world. That's something we haven't been able to say for 4 years.
And
like,
bringing in
two
Thomas
competent players.
Bringing in Thomas Bryant is not like when they brought in Kendrick Perkins in the 2017-18. You know what I mean?
Dude,
like
when he went
he's
in and
physical.
watched KD's press conference, though, that was the coolest thing a Cleveland athlete's ever done.
That was
he
crazy.
went like straight Undertaker mode, just walks in the back of the room down 3-0 in the finals, and just stares down KD.
Because like Thomas Bryant offers you that physicality that you've been looking for. That's been the knock on Jared Allen forever, but Thomas Bryant can actually knock down a couple shots, get you some O boards. It's a very different, you bring in the physicality because that's what I think a lot of people are like, okay, well, he's not going to score anything. But I'm actually looking forward to seeing what he can offer for us.
And you needed someone who wasn't a nice guy.
Yeah,
Well,
dude.
for those that want to tap into the Cleveland Cavaliers preseason schedule, it begins tonight. Take on the Bulls at 7 p.m. They play them again Thursday. Sunday,
Is it in
October
the U on
12th.
Thursday?
They play the Boston Celtics. Then they wrap up the
believe so.
preseason Tuesday, October 14th with the matchup versus the Detroit
Back home.
Pistons. October 22nd, it all begins. Season opener at New York. Other notable date,
love
October
it.
26th.
Love it.
The home
BTA.
opener.
Ball up top.
Come on, baby.
Versus the
top.
Milwaukee Bucks. All right, we got to take another break. When we get back, one of the more bizarre stories of the year. Mark Sanchez in the news for not very good
Crazy.
reasons.
Call an ambulance.
Oh, no.
But not for me.
But not for
But
me.
fumble.
We'll discuss that when we get back on The Big Factor. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Big Factor on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Pat McGuire, and Rob Watson. Well, an interesting and very bizarre and a sad story we got over the weekend. It started Saturday, October 4th, the morning of. We got the news that Fox analyst, former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez was stabbed. News came out later that, the altercation was a result of Mark Sanchez being the one that escalated it. The 69-year-old truck driver dispute about where he was parking led to just an unnecessary altercation. Mark Sanchez was reportedly drunk, under the influence when he approached the gentleman. Mark Sanchez was hospitalized. Then he was charged with 3 misdemeanors: battery with injury, unlawful entry of a motor vehicle, and public intoxication. We then found out another update. Those charges have been upgraded to felony, a level 5 felony, battery involving seriously bodily injury. That felony carries a potential sentence for Sanchez of 1 to 6 years in prison.
Oh my God.
Images were released of the 69-year-old man that was beat up by Mark Sanchez, and it did not look good. The man stabbed Mark Sanchez, obviously fearing for his life. This could have gone a lot worse. There are a lot of scenarios. Somebody could have easily died in this scenario. You never like to see this. This is scary stuff. But when you first saw the report, it was Mark Sanchez got stabbed. Don't know what happened. Crazy to see that Mark Sanchez was the instigator and a 69-year-old man was defending his life against a 38-year-old former NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I'm someone who like tries to see the best in situations, I guess, when they come out or think the best of people. So like when I saw the original report that came out, I was thinking like, Pat, you might remember when Paul Bissonnette, the hockey analyst, a couple months ago got beat up by a bunch of people at a bar. Like he had a funny took some, gave more comment that he put out there. I thought it was one of those deals. Like a bunch of drunk people just saw like a famous person, whatever, we're going to go get our thing. This is like one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my whole entire life.
Wild.
Like when I saw the pictures of the, I believe, 68-year-old man, it was like that. I mean, he could have died. I mean, if you look at his face, like to just put it bluntly,
He could have a
right?
murder charge.
Oh,
Yeah,
he could
for
have
real.
a much bigger charge
Very
than what he
easily.
got. Like I was saying earlier, it reminded me a bit of like the Rick Allen Def Leppard drummer incident from a few years ago. Like it's disgusting. Like
Go
there's
Cats, baby.
yeah, there's no way that ever should have happened. You know, like he said that he talked to the hotel manager who said that truck couldn't be parked right there when the guy was like collecting used baby oil. Like that didn't happen.
Crazy.
Like how as a because Mark Sanchez isn't 18 or 21. Like Mark Sanchez is what, 38 probably.
Grown ass man.
Yeah, he's a grown up man. How does he get to the point in life where a 68-year-old man at 2 a.m. has to pull out a knife because he's fearing for his life? Like
it's just never-
it's so beyond disgusting. Fox needs to boot him. I'm
Yeah,
out
they
on
did.
him.
And
They
Mark
did,
Sanchez
yeah.
I mean-
isn't like that guy. Like
Him and Rex Ryan, bad week
you
for
know,
those
you're not
two.
one of those people that like has a chance to really get away with this. You're not that like.
I mean,
untouchable.
this was so close to being, like we said,
Way
a death.
worse, dude.
If the 69-year-old man, if he had a gun, if he would have used
Crazy.
that to defend himself, if the 69-year-old man didn't have a knife, who knows? Mark Sanchez could have ended up killing
Or if he
him.
just
I mean,
stabbed
if the
him
68-year-old
anywhere
man
else,
wasn't
like,
probably the strongest, most resilient 68-year-old man on the planet, he's probably facing a murder charge.
Well, the truck driver identified as Perry Toll has sued Mark Sanchez and Fox Sports alleging permanent disfigurement, emotional trauma, as well as negligent hiring / supervision by Fox. So they're in deep water.
That's
as
what
well.
I was trying to figure out. What is he doing
Right.
doing that, bro? Like, I feel like it would have just been so like there's a plan for the day. Like there would have been people, you know, there. Well, like I was like, why is he drinking anywhere? Like it should have been just a hotel bar
Yeah.
with people who say everyone's got to go upstairs. We got the game tomorrow, and all this stuff with some supervision. He's just acting. He's just doing whatever he wants. Like there's nobody saying there's an itinerary.
Well,
or
he's
anything.
a 38-year-old
Where's
man.
the chaperones,
you
Rob?
can't put tape over the door of the hotel room and tell him you got to shut it off at 9 p.m. But like, also think about it this way. Like, let's be honest with ourselves.
There was no
how many
co-host
sports
with him to say,
broadcasters
"Don't
either
go
the night
beat up that
before
old man"?
or wasn't he doing an NFL game on Sunday? I
Yeah.
thought it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
In
how
Indy, I mean.
many NFL broadcasters go out to the bars in the town they're in on Friday night with all their friends? All of them. You
So
know.
where are his
Yeah.
friends then? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why is
Right.
he alone? Why is no one
I
there to
don't-
stop
Why
him?
was no one at his birthday
That's
party?
what's confusing me, bro.
Yeah, maybe he's like Bo Callahan.
Where's
That could be
everybody?
the case.
I mean,
Dude,
But
the video
maybe
of
he's
Mark
there
walking
shouldn't
down the
need
street.
to be a babysitter for a nanny for a 38-year-old man.
Yeah, dude, the video of Mark walking down the street, it genuinely looked like it was
Just
Dateline. You know what I
He was
mean?
moving like Michael
Like
Myers.
it looked
though.
like murder. It looked like murder doc stuff.
We were
You
saying
know
before
what
the
I'm
show, it's like the gulag and con.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought he went out like Skylar Thompson. Like I thought he got robbed, but whole time he was the aggressor, bro. It's
All right,
insane.
totally
man.
scary situation. Obviously, new details will emerge, and we'll follow the case as the whole NFL world will. All right, we got to take one more break. When we get back, we're wrapping up the Big Factor, giving our FanDuel parlay of the day, and we're sending you on out of here.
Let's go.
Hey, everybody, welcome back into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Pat McGuire, and Rob Watson. We're wrapping up here on the Big Factor. But before we do that, I got to tell you about FanDuel, and we got to show you our FanDuel parlay of the day. FanDuel has got an offer that you don't want to miss this NFL season. New customers can bet just $5, and you get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style. FanDuel has you covered. The NFL season is here. The only question is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Must be 21 plus and present in Ohio. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Jack, let's get out of here on a winning note. Let's win some money today.
We're back for today's Lay of the Day. We're starting out with a little SGP. We are going with the Yerfy from our Nerfy man, Rob Watson. He's called it. He's got a premonition. There's something in the air, Ryan. We're going with the over, and as well as Carlos Rodon. 6 strikeouts in Blue Jays Yankees as the Yankees try and keep this one going. Then, hey, we're going on the ice tonight for the first time in a long time. We're starting out with Rays money line -225. Igor Shesterkin in the net. You know we're rocking with the Rangers. Then, what's hockey without an over, right? 5.5 tonight for the Avs, heading on the road to take on the Kings in the Staples Center. 2 high-scoring teams. Brett Burns, the newest Colorado Avalanche. Once again, we're going Yerfy in Blue Jays Yankees. Carlos Rodon, 6 strikeouts.
Plus
Rangers money line on the backs of Igor Shesterkin. Avs Kings over 5.5. Let's do it.
Appreciate everybody tuning into the Big Factor on the Big Play Sports Network. Shout out, of course, our great partners at FanDuel. Shout out Fairway Ford. Shout out Garage Beer. Shout out Bloodview Haunted House.
Go.
'Tis the season. We appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. Same people, same time. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday, and we'll catch you later. Peace out.